Okay, so what I generally speak about, it takes a lot longer, but I'm going to do it within my time frame of 10 minutes. But it's really some top tips and information I want folks to understand. And if you have any questions about it, then contact me and we can go more in detail as needed. Okay. So first, planning. Okay. We start with the International Travel Risk Policy, which is my base guidance document. We have about 40 to 50 countries risk rated on the travel risk warning. There are certain countries where students are prohibited from traveling, so there's a high-risk approval waiver process that I oversee. Faculty and staff don't need the waivers to go abroad, it's just to sign the risk form. But then the students, no matter what the risk for the country level, students will sign it for any country, whether it's Iceland or Iraq. Okay, and International SOS, that's our contracted international assistance provider, and they've got about 26 assistance centers globally, 24/7. And again, they're not insurance. They do work with insurance for the students. We have a program that I'll speak about shortly. We have the membership number up there, and they may ask you for it, but if you say MIT, they'll be able to quickly find it. We tell the travelers to make sure that the number is saved in their phones, as well as giving them cards, also downloading the app to your smartphones. They added a new feature this past year where travelers can live chat with them over the app, and that was added because students didn't have data plans abroad, so it would prevent them from utilizing it. So that's a really good feature. We encourage the students to download it when we speak to them. Another new feature we've added is an emotional support line service with them. So if travelers, or if anybody, not even a student, but any traveler is feeling anxious, emotional type related questions and issues, you can call up, speak to somebody, and then they'll triage. And if it requires additional sessions to somebody to talk to, they set that up. And again, under the student insurance program, that's covered up to $5,000. So it's a really good feature, and we do have individuals that are using it. And then another additional service I like to mention is that if you need interpretation, you're in Thailand, you don't speak Thai, you need to speak to medical people, get them on the phone and they will help interpret between the medical provider or even if you're in a taxi. Okay, US State Department is part of preparations. So again, the base site to go to is travel.state.gov for country information, travel warning information. We also do strongly recommend individuals sign up for the STEP, State Department travel enrollment. That will ensure you get any State Department embassy messages as they occur, okay? And travel registration, we need to know where you are. So we have an institute travel registry we've been rolling out this year, and I've been working with a lot of our student safety abroad departments. So most of the IAP travelers are going to be in this system. There's a couple of departments also, I have access to their systems, but we're slowly getting everybody to use this system. It allows for digital signature of some of the risk forms, as well as your contact information to get in touch with you abroad, location, dates. And then it's an easy one-stop location for departments to manage travel registration data. The health insurance. For students, we have a program for up to $100,000 of emergency health coverage. Again, that's not for preventive care, dental, or anything else like that. It's for emergency. So somebody trips and falls, damages their teeth, that's a dental emergency, but someone needs a teeth cleaning, not covered. We advise faculty and staff also to review your coverage because, again, the program we have is for the students. So, again, checking with your health provider overseas to make sure how it's going to be covered. Communications, we will have a little bit more information on that from IT Tech Tips, but this is really important. To be able to get in touch with you when you're abroad. I'll have your emails, but emails aren't the best way to get in touch with you immediately. So again, having an internationally functional phone and or a plan is really important, and leave that information in the travel registry. Don't rely exclusively on wireless networks when you're overseas because they can fail. You need to be able to somehow call from a phone. And then as part of communication planning also, if you need to speak, identify locally trusted contacts, and also regarding alerts, Quite a few countries have alert type apps you can get. So most of you are probably familiar with the MIT alerts. So France has an alert system and several other countries I'm aware of do. So some of the program managers that regularly send students to those countries, it's part of their process to make sure you get, again, local breaking news on what's going on if there's a situation in a specific location. While you're abroad, okay, transportation safety, and generally we're not recommending individuals drive vehicles because of the road traffic safety issues. But again, it's not specifically forbidden in policy, but programs may actually put restrictions on it as well. But again, it's challenging driving in foreign countries where there's different driving habits, laws as well. Road safety is really important, so we remind individuals when you are in vehicles or you're going on trips in vehicles, make sure they have seat belts. That's really important. Also, emergency breakdown kits, that type of thing. So you can fix and then be on your way somewhere. So again, if someone's providing you transportation, it's a good idea to just check what are they doing as far as road safety and emergency equipment and things like that. Ride-sharing providers is a big onion to peel. So again, in certain countries, it's going to be okay like it is here, but then other risk locations, it's not going to be recommended. So travelers going to Pakistan, where they've got similar service providers, we would tell travelers not to use that. You need your own trusted provider. You can call International SOS if you have questions. If you ask me a question about can I use an Uber abroad, I generally will call them for countries that are travel warning countries to say, what are you recommending? And maybe even benchmark with other schools to find out. Again, big question, hot topic in higher education, and we're still trying to figure out, best way to advise. But again, health, ride-sharing providers are obviously a growing, service people use. There are policy restrictions abroad, so where you may go, time of day, location. It's either in the policy or I will, I'll be able to give you a little deeper dive if you have a specific location question. When you're staying in, buildings, hotels, apartments, or whatever, fire safety, know where the exits are, carry a flashlight, make sure your locks are secure so people can't get in, they're not supposed to. Does your building or the place you're staying have access monitoring? That's really important to consider. Programs may have recommendations or hosts that you're speaking to. So please, check with them. I can also give basic information regarding, standard safety precautions. Then there's the potential for online fraud. People have been scammed in the past. They show up, and where they thought they were staying becomes a small emergency for them. So I think that's important also to kind of understand and talk about with anybody that can help you prepare for your trip. And then being a hard target, that's really about doing things that will dissuade or deter people that want to harm you or just stay away from you. So the key thing is really to demonstrate awareness and alertness, particularly in the crowds. They're going to look for individuals that are distracted and try to maybe take something from you, and we've had property stolen off people. Closed-toed shoes, important, lace-up shoes in case something's happening. You don't want your shoes to fall off, and that happens. You need to run away really quickly, so that's important. You don't want to be barefoot running over glass if you're in an area where there's been a blast. Solo travel, we recommend buddy system, being more careful at night. Mugger's wallet, and I briefly mentioned that, and that's just to have a day's worth of cash and another quickly accessible wallet in case you're mugged. You can give that away and they'll be on their way. But again, you don't want to give up everything and have them take your credit cards or your passport. And then know where it's safe to withdraw and access money and how to use cash. And then if you're confronted by somebody, just give it up. Don't be a hero. It's not worth your life. And again, different locations, different recommendations, so we can do a deeper dive into that if needed. And then emergencies, it's really about calling International SOS. That's your initial call. But you need to go and seek out and get medical care right away. If it's acute, make sure ISOS knows. They're going to inform MIT. I'll get the call or some other colleagues. And what we'll do is, if we have to activate the International Emergency Team, we'll do that. but we will, we'll be able to follow up with them, monitor the situation. If there's a question of getting you back to the state safely, we handle that with them. So that's a very key service to use while you're abroad. And they also advise on natural disasters and criminal and security-related issues too. So again, really key, service provider we rely on when you're overseas. And stop there. We'll have questions at the end.